I'm Jeff Garner from Tennessee, and we did a sustainable fashion documentary full feature called Let Them Be Naked, based upon the toxicity in everyday clothing and the health implications. So I'm not a filmmaker by trade. I'm actually a designer. Been doing it for 22 years in sustainable couture. I show at London Fashion Week in Paris and US and all over. So I realized very quickly, at a catwalk show, you get 200 to 600 guests. Shanghai did 8,000, and that's the only people you really reach. So I figured, well, you know what? Film is a medium to really make a change and shift this industry. So I decided to jump off the ledge and get some friends involved, and had no idea what I was doing. And they all thought I was crazy to try to produce and edit it and shoot it all in a year. And that's what we did. And also do a book to coincide with it to release. So I don't know, but that release, so we actually released it all last night. So anyways, yeah, it's been a fun journey, and I wouldn't, wish it on anyone other than it's brilliant because it does get action made. So any credits. Being a designer in the industry for that long, you see everything, right? You see the PFAS and the plastic salt ink and the printed garments that are going on baby onesies, and they're breathing that in. You see these synthetic fabrications, not breathing bras and bras, breast cancer, etc. So nobody's talking about this stuff, and I feel as a designer, it's our responsibility. You see my couture, I love the design, I love fashion. But it was an ethical issue with me, and being from Tennessee and a horse farm, losing my mom to breast cancer, I realized I can't live with myself any longer if I did not do something about it, to at least bring back the power of choice. And hopefully more designers and fashionistas will design these natural fibers and plant-based dyes, and we can use something different. From the fundraising to everything, again, a new venture for me. Fashion, I can do it, I design my collections in 3 weeks and put it on a catwalk, produce my catwalks, great. Film making, I have a whole new respect. And it's funny how everyone tells you, you cannot do something, and oh, Jeff, how much money? Oh yeah, good luck with that. I'm like, okay, thanks guys. But we did fundraise, and like I said, went to shooting and editing all within the year. So I think it was the matter of just, I'm a horseman. I like jumping on the horse and galloping, and I think it's everyone kind of giving their opinions and are trying to hold you back. It's weird in that sense. You don't have the kind of support system that I was looking for. So that was probably the biggest challenge up front, and then we got traction, and everyone wanted to be involved, which was interesting. But then we were shooting in Indonesia, we got chased by the cops, that was kind of fun. And then simple things with technology, right? The microphones dropping out and stuff, so we got these new wireless mics that worked wonderful because we're doing action stuff, of course. I hate to see the wires drop. And I think the biggest challenge for me personally, being a new director, is that people probably experience too. They challenge you because they don't think you know what you're doing. However, when you're visionary and have a passion, I think you figure out how to do things. And it may be a different version of how everyone else has done it. But I think that's okay. I think you have to go with gut. And I think anyone that has a vision right now, sitting audience, should just go for it and see how it works out. And it always will if you drive it. I've done catwalks all around the world, like Chateau Fontainebleau in Paris. So I did one at Edinburgh Castle. I think you can make visions happen with a frugal spirit, so you can find ways to do things differently that cut your budget cost. You have to be creative in that, and to get friends involved, and also learn in filmmaking. I wasn't originally going to direct our piece. I went to a director, and he wanted $100,000 to direct it. They knew nothing of the subject matter. I had to educate him, teach him everything. And then he wasn't going to edit it. And so I was like, that's kind of a waste of budget. So that's why I took it on. But I got an amazing DP that could go with me. And he went through 5 pairs of my boots, mind you. So we moved quickly, as you say. You kind of drop your heavy cam and go to a V cam operation setup that's always ready. But yeah, so little things like that you learn, and I just had that mind with fashion production, how to kind of cut costs but still make it look a certain way. And I think that's have that savviness is important. and not to look, and you could strip down your budget and then make it more feasible to raise it and to get, it's like being in high school again, like being the popular kid. Once people jump on board that first money, then other people come on board, and then, everybody wants their name on the credits. And capturing authenticity, that's it, and finding that thread line. And because there's so much that's been created and worked up, and my editor threw in some B-roll of it and grab out from there, and I was like, where did that come from? No, we're not doing that. Like, everything we shot, everything was part of the story and the narrative. And I think that's the most important thing is pulling that jewel out and staying connected to that. That's why we switched our mics to these wireless mics, because I found even micing up whoever we're interviewing, they felt like they were being mic'd up. And then so their whole dynamic changed when they started talking. And I just quickly did a magnetic thing, threw it on them, or didn't mic them, used mine, and we went straight in conversation and capturing those moments, because a lot of these guys don't get on camera. So I think that's important. So this is our first film festival. I used to be in the music world before fashion. I worked for Barry Mello, Fleetwood Mac and Donna Summer. I was a creative director, and so I went on tour with these guys. And I learned the power of, meeting other people in different neck of the woods, so to speak. And so with other, right now I'm sitting on the panel with you guys, and, I feel like kind of like the Titanic. Yesterday I was playing, poker in Tennessee, and here I am. Like, so iron sharpens iron. I think it's important to be around fellow filmmakers to learn and to be inspired, because it is a lonely world out there. Sometimes there's an arcade designing, which I kind of prefer to be, but I think that's important. And then obviously to get your work out there. And if you look at it this way, a tour, if I set up my own venue, which we did a screening last night, it's going to cost you, a couple $1,000 rent the venue, then popcorn, add all that up. Film festival, you're part of something, and they show you film, and you get to be a part. And I think that's most important without the high budget. So I think it's important.